Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Top 10 Games Beaten by Omar GT 2024 edition. First, I'm going to start off with honorable mention. Three of them today, but actually one is from Game I Beat in 2023. I don't know how I missed this one because it was so good. I just lost in the shuffle. But this is Enter the Gungeon, available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and I believe PC as well, and possibly mobile devices. Very good. Run and gun shooter. It's actually top-down view. It's a roguelite, so dungeons are generated, but for the most part, you do collect a lot of items and you upgrade them as you can. But it's a lot of fun. Try it out. My first honorable mention for actual 2024 is Tactics Ogre, and I played the PSP version. Actually watching the PlayStation 4 Xbox One version, but it's the same thing, just maybe not as crisp. But the game is a lot of fun. It is a predecessor to Final Fantasy Tactics. If you played that game, it is a tactical RPG with multiple classes that you can customize and upgrade, and you have to actually play certain lower level classes to unlock higher ones. It is a very difficult game. I'll say it's a lot harder than Final Fantasy Tactics, but the it has branching storylines, so you can actually go through different parts of the game to experience different things, and it has a lot of replay value because of that. So I would say check it out if you want to try it out. And my last honorable mention is Lego DC Supervillains. I didn't play many games that year in 2024 that I've beaten. I actually played a lot, just didn't beat a lot. This is a lot of fun. You actually play as the villains themselves. It's a typical Lego game, a lot of collectibles. You do have to actually get bricks to unlock more characters. You do actually do customize your own villain. And you actually are playing against to defeat these superheroes that are actually fake superheroes. That's all I'm going to say. I do love Lego games. This is actually a twist. We actually are the bad guys, but it is fun to play as the bad guy. So try it out if you want to see a different type of Lego game. At my number 10 spot is Fallout 76. This is available for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. It is a online only game in the Fallout universe. It's actually based in the Appalachian Mountains. I actually forgot what year it's actually based on, but it's a lot of fun. Very hard to get into at first. You just obviously start out very weak and low. You do actually have some base building to do, um, which does carry over. It's kind of hard to say because you build your base and you plant it at a certain location, but you actually carry it over when you log in again to a different server, um, and it stays that way. You can also rebuild it again, but it's very difficult to rebuild. Wasn't my favorite part, but as far as the Fallout universe itself, it is a lot of fun. It does have the VAT system, with just slightly more of a targeting than actually slowdown. It barely slows down any bit, so it's more of a targeting, easy targeting system. Uh, all the online players I played with, for the most part, were all very helpful. A lot of people even gave me stuff when I was very low level. They just threw it at me and say, "Here, something to start out with." A lot of fun. If you definitely have played the Fallout 3, Vegas, and 4, and want something more out of Fallout, I will say jump into this. It is very extensive. I got to level 100, so I will say I pretty much beat most of it. There's still a lot more to it that I haven't done. And it does have a lot of cosmetics and building materials they can do, and seasonal stuff as well. So check it out. At my number 9 spot is Hot Wheels Unleashed for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch as well. It is a track racer using the Hot Wheels license. It's very more about drifting, and there's not really much as far as car customization. We do have to unlock a lot of cars, some of them real fast, some of them very not based to the track depending on what you're riding on. But it is a lot of fun, very easy to get into, very hard to master as well, especially if you're playing online. Those racers just memorize the track very easily. But I did beat it. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. I haven't really got into two. I liked it, but it wasn't really pretty much the same thing to me. It wasn't much of a difference, so I didn't really finish part two. But if did play, actually, you're gonna see a lot more racing games on his list because I did play a lot that year, and I guess it was just a lot that have been unleashed onto me. So Alright, try it out if you'd like to try another different type of racing game. At my number 8 spot is Mafia 1. This is the definitive edition that I played, available on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. This is a story-driven game, third-person, you could say action-adventure type game. You do have to collect some cars, but they're not required. There's some driving to do, but it's mostly just to get the point A to point B to do your story, with a little bit of follow the guy to kill him in certain levels. But the story is so great. If you're into that mafia, mob boss type of story, this is a game to play. Definitely play this one, especially before playing 2 and 3 and the old country. And my number 7 spot is the Plague Tale Innocence. This is actually the first duology currently. It is a, I would say, third-person adventure game. You're escorting a child, but it's not really like a bad escort mission. Actually, the child is helpful. It's mostly about the European plague and probably the plague that happened back then, caused by rats or supposedly caused by rats. And it has a little magical sense into it, but not much. You mostly just try to escape with your little brother that has a plague that can control rats. And that's where the extra fun gameplay parts come into it. Yes, you can control the rats at certain points in the game. A lot of walking stealth missions in this game. So you have to go through that through bushes and stuff. But if you want a game with a good story, with light gameplay, this is the one for you. Especially if you want to try the sequel. At my number 6 spot is Wreckfest. This is available for both PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and I believe PC as well. It is a destruction derby type game, and if you like destruction derby for the PlayStation 1, it is a much more enhanced version of that and tribute to that as well. Car destruction is great. Demolition is very fun to do, as far especially in the track. But I love playing the track parts as far as going through and destroying stuff. Actually, you do drive a sofa as well. I remember that part. That was a lot of fun. So if you're into car racing but don't want it to be too serious and just have a lot of destruction, just plain old fun, do try this game out as well. I know this one's a bit of a cheat because I did play all the old Castlevanias back in about 40 years ago in the NAS, Nintendo Entertainment System. But because I've only first time played the Game Boy versions, the black and white, Kid Dracula, and the Castlevania Bloodlines, this is the only reason I added to this list. Plus, I had a lot of fun going back to play the old Castlevania games as well. If you too bad this Castlevania collection is not available anymore to download on consoles, but I believe you can get it through certain streaming services or other methods. So if you love Castlevania and want to start from the beginning, this is the collection to go with if you're able to find it or a physical copy. At my number 4 spot is 8-Bit Armies. They're actually different iterations of the 8-Bit Army series, but this is actually the first one. It's a slightly Command and Conquer light type of game. If you like into those Command and Conquer, but you don't have the time or resources or even the PC to get into it, and want a console slower down version, this is the one to go to. That doesn't say because it's a lesser version, it's not difficult, because it was difficult at certain points of the game, and I did have to play some levels multiple times to finish it. It was a lot of fun, and it does have multiplayer as well, so you can go with that, and you play I think up to 4 teams on a map. So try it out if you want to play a strategy type game that's similar to Command and Conquer. At my number 3 spot is Dirt 5. Sorry, I did say there were going to be several racing games on this list. So this one actually was a lot of fun. It's an off-road type of racing game, which actually do go through tracks, climb through mountains, go through different off-road sections. But you do actually get to customize the cars just slightly, not very much. But you do have multiple events you can go through as far as climbing a mountain, going downhill a mountain, drifting, track racing, ice, rallycross, cross raid, you name it. So I would say this is one of my top-notch off-road racing games that I've played so far. At my number two spot is Control, available for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, and also Switch. But I'm not sure if that's actually streaming or physical. This is actually part of the Alan Wake universe. Spoilers for that part, in case you didn't want to know. But it's a very light link to it. But if you do really want to know all the references, do play Alan Wake first. Especially that's more of a slower paced game. This is more third person action shooter, but not too much shooting. It's more of a just using spells to destroy enemies in a small area. Very psychological type of game, very Inceptionist, we could say. But I would say play this, especially before playing Control 2 or Alan Wake 2. It was a lot of fun. I loved it a lot. I actually 100%ed it. So do try it out. At my number one spot is God of War 2018. This is actually a sequel to all the old God of War games on the PlayStation 2 and 3, and set years, way years in the future. And actually, Kratos is in charge to raising this young boy named Atreus, but he has to actually lead him into a certain part of the game. I'm not gonna say if you haven't played this game yet. I would say this probably would not have been number one if it was actually played the year before or maybe the year after. It's because I didn't play that many games that year in 2024. But either way, this is actually Sony's one of the flagship games out there. So if you really want a great story-based game with a lot of action, a lot of great storytelling, a lot of action performance, and skeptical feats and fights, do play this. It also has a lot of collectibles and armor and weapon upgrades, which is not typical of the old God of War games. So once you get past that and past the also Valkyrie fights, which is very difficult, you will have a lot of fun and time. But again, thank you all for watching. This is my 2024 edition of games that I've beaten, and hopefully soon I'll be able to get a review for a game I'm trying to finish for several months now. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it a lot, and look forward to the next video. Thanks again.